I'm going to try to make this short. It is Sunday. It's not Thursday. I am thankful. And I need to stay on that theme no matter what I'm recording or no matter what I'm posting on this YouTube channel. I am thankful because I am traveling. I am on the road. I am in St. Louis. Well, right outside of St. Louis because I am on a road trip. And today I am thankful for the conversations that I've been having with God on this road trip so far, and the way He's delivering me from just the residue and the grips and the tendrils of fear. So my goal was to go to Joshua Tree. I've been thinking about it for a few weeks, and I mentioned in one of the videos my aunt passed. So my plan to go to Florida during this kind of winter break, because I work for a school, my plan to go to Florida, it's pointless. Mine's not there anymore. She passed. But I still wanted to travel and go somewhere warm, but really just a change of scenery. And Joshua Tree National Park was calling me. And I prayed about it, and I felt good about going. So I was looking at train tickets, because I love long train trips. It's always been a goal of mine to do a train trip, different train trips across the country. I've been to Dallas on Amtrak twice, and that's about 33 hours. Chicago, obviously, back and forth between Chicago and Detroit. But I wanted to do the different ones, the one that goes to California, the Zephyr, I believe one is called. And I've always wanted to do longer road trips, cross-country road trips. I just like being on the road for a long time across the country. And my longest drive so far have been Florida, drove to Mississippi, and then to Dallas with a friend, New Orleans, which I mean is not terribly far. I drove from San Francisco to LA on the Pacific Coast Highway. Not far, but it was a long drive because we were taking the Pacific Coast Highway. I like the scenery of America, and I like to see it change from plains to hills, from cold to warm weather. Even now, like in Detroit, it's cold. I ain't even gonna check. I know it's cold, but right now in St. Louis, it's like almost 70 degrees, which I'm like, I didn't even know St. Louis got this type of weather. I don't be thinking about St. Louis. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, and I did not plan to be here, but in planning this trip to Joshua Tree and trying to think about, should I rent a car maybe or just hop on this train, I didn't really book my plane tickets because I didn't book the train tickets because I just felt a sense of pause and wait, which is wild because I'm like, if I don't get this train ticket, then I'm definitely gonna have to rent a car, right? Which affordable, but I don't know if I could get it with my credits, because if you use a debit card, they gotta run your credit. It's a whole thing. And instead of worrying about how it was gonna work out, I continue to pray and say, Lord, it's in your hands. I feel like this is my opportunity to just spend some time on the road with you in whatever capacity you want to do that. If this is something you are making available to me, I trust that you're going to work it out. And Saturday, I was praying about it. And as I was praying about the trip, I felt the strong desire to just be in a car. Like, Lord, I just want that freedom to just talk to you, to praise you, to sing, to shout, to just converse with you vocally, and to think. I want to be in a car and just do it how we used to do between Chicago and Detroit. Man, those are some good drives too. I would be praising the Lord, singing my songs, meditating, praying. And so that was Saturday. And Saturday is when I saw a car for sale and within my budget, in amazing shape. And I'm like, Lord, if this for me to get it and you doing it, I'm gonna get it. And I'm gonna trust that the finances is still gonna work out to where I can get this car, I can do what I need to do, I can still take this trip, whether I need to rent a separate car, however it go, even if I go ahead and book a train. So Monday, and I think I put this in my other video too, I went to see the car and I got it. It's in amazing shape. It's in such amazing shape that I'm like, I could actually drive this car to California. But it's 17 years old, but I can drive it to California. And so that's what I've been doing. I hit the road yesterday. And I had a hotel in Tulsa picked out. And I was probably going to get there around midnight. But when I tell you, from me leaving my house to me ending up here in St. Louis, there were so many constant, and it felt like just nonstop temptations to fear, invitations to panic. Thoughts like, is the car gonna break down? Maybe the car ain't gonna make it. Am I crazy? Why would I come out here in this old car? What am I doing? And I'm rolling, and I'm taking a route towards Chicago. West into Illinois, and then it's gonna come down through St. Louis to Tulsa. I had my route picked out, and I'm like, that was a constant thought. Like, what if the car is gonna do something crazy? But I'm like, forget that. The car is in great shape, but I'm not trusted in the car. I'm trusted in God. Another thought was just like my phone. Just anxiety. Even as I'm on the road, even as I'm excited, there's just this, and I kept rejecting it. Like, no, God got me. No, the car is in great shape. Like, no, I mean, at any point, if God say turn around or do something else, I could do something else. Like, I got options, but most importantly, I got God. So I'm praying, I'm trying to sing songs and things like that. And then the tire pressure light comes on, and the car is old enough to where the tire pressure system will light up, but it won't tell you which tire and what the pressure issue is. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to get a flat. Oh my goodness, I'm out here, I'm in this old car. And so I pull up the freeway into a gas station, and I'm like, I need to just get the pressure. I need to see which tire. And look at all the tires, and they all seem fine. I'm like, I need to know which one it is. And it's like I'm panicking, but then I'm like, Rachel, calm down. And it was a struggle. So I pull up to a pump, and it wasn't one I'm familiar with. It just worked a little different. It took a card, and I ain't never seen that. I'm from the hood, okay? And it looked like it could give you the pressure on the screen, but for whatever reason, I wasn't understanding what it was saying. It just said 0, 0, 0. I'm like, the tires are not flat. None of them are flat. So I'm like, all right, let me go to a different pump. Let me see if I can get to one to where, and I'm also on YouTube. I'm also Googling, like, what does the tire pressure system light mean in a 2008 Honda CR-V? Like, what? And they were basically saying if it's too high or if it's too low, then that light will come on. Adjust it to the right recommended pressure, and then after 10 minutes on the road, it should go off. So I get the recommended pressure, and my assumption is just that one of my tires is about to be flat. So much to the point that as I'm checking one tire at the first gas station, I see something wedged into the tread of the tire. And the tires are brand new on this 17-year-old car. Brand new. I'm looking at a rock, which I really didn't realize it was a rock. Like, is this a nail? Is it a nail in this tire? Just so much panic. And finally, once I get to the other gas station, similar pump. No, I get to the next gas station, the pump didn't work. Air pump didn't work. I get to the third gas station, and they had the same card reader, things like that. I'm like, all right, let me pull up close and just see what it's going to do. And it had a little bit more instructions. That basically when I set the recommended pressure on the pump, and then once I put the little nozzle on the tire, it'll tell me what the pressure is, and if it's not what it needs to be, then it'll give it to it, right? So I set the pressure. I go to each one of my tires. 2 of them are exactly as recommended, and it just turned out that 2 of them are slightly over because I had been on the road for several hours and the tires heat up and the pressure increase. Here's the thing, that's something that I knew. I know that that's how that works. Most people should pay attention enough to know that. And I don't want to run this video long because there was so many details, and this is just the first few hours of what was like a 12-hour trip yesterday. Why was my assumption that the tire was about to be flat? Why was that one of my thoughts? And so one of the things I've been battling with was, why is it so hard to trust that God put me in a position to where I could get a car that's so affordable and in such amazing shape? Why is it hard to believe that God answered my prayer? Why am I struggling? And so I'm driving and dealing with that. Once I realized the tires was fine, I let a little air out, but I didn't even feel like fussing with it at that point because the pump ran out of time. I'm like, I'm not paying another $2 for it to tell me that I need to let a little air out. So I'm stopped fussing with that, driving, and I'm like, so I'm having this conversation with God. I know music. My GPS, I would turn the GPS on my phone off so the battery wouldn't die. And the car actually has a little GPS system. It's a very interesting situation that will tell me where I am. It's based on the road conditions in 2008, which, you know, is new exits, new ramps, and all of that. But for the most part, these highways are the same. So when I got a sense of where I needed to go, I turned my phone GPS off and put it down to conserve the battery. And I'm just still struggling for some reason. And so before it got dark, I stopped somewhere to get gas or do something. I don't even remember why I stopped. And when I turned my phone GPS on, my midnight time to get to Tulsa had turned into like 2:30 a.m. I had somehow, my phone was giving me these routes that include avoiding tolls, but it was like a whole 2.5 hours longer. So I'm like, I'm not about to avoid a few dollars and be on the road no extra 2.5 hours. But somehow I must have selected that route. So it's getting dark. I'm 2 hours delayed to get to where I want to go. And the panic is just this invitation to just be frustrated. And what I had started saying, and I'm about to switch this, because instead of listing the problems that happen, I'm about to switch it to what I had to keep saying and what some of the breaking points were. 2 hours, 200 miles, or whatever the difference was, didn't give me my peace. And so it can't take it. A tire pressure light, this car, whatever, it didn't give me my peace, so it can't take it. I cannot relinquish my peace based on these constant invitations from circumstances to be in distress. I refuse. And the breaking point was rerouting, because I'm like, I'm not going this longer way, and it was going to take me down these highways through like routes instead of like major highways. I'm like, I want to stick to the major highways. So I made a decision. I'm going back the way through St. Louis. I'm sticking to the major highways. I'll look for something else. I'm not going to Tulsa at 2 a.m. I'll probably look for something in St. Louis. And then it got dark, and as I'm making these decisions, I realized I could not see nothing. Like, for whatever reason, my lights was so dim, the headlights. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I already knew they were a little dimmer because I had been using the high beams in the city. So I thinking that these high beams and the high beams seemed regular in the city, but the regular lights just wasn't cutting it. So I'm on the highway and I'm looking, I see my high beam light is on. I'm like, man, my high beams are too low for the road. Like, and I'm like, what in the world? And so I pulled into a rest stop. the back of my head, I'm like, just check the lights. Make sure you actually got the high beams on. Just because you're seeing that, you might not. It's new to me. The car is new to me. And so I'm like, let me pull into this rest stop and see what's really what. Because if I can't see, I ain't going nowhere. If the headlights just ain't working, that's it. And the breaking point was realizing that it was like a high beam indicator on the dashboard saying that I should turn them on. And I didn't realize that they wasn't actually on. So when I turned the high beams on, it was fine. It was just enough. It wasn't as high as, my 2020 Ford Fusion. But it was fine. And that was the breaking point. Rachel, you can trust God. So I started to just thank God. Like, you know what, Lord? Thank you that this car is in good shape. Thank you that you made a way. And then on top of this, other things too, like my family being kind of scared about, my dad's talking about the weather, which I had already checked the weather, and I know it's changing and it's doing some variances, but it's fine. It might be some overcast days in California, but it's not going to be flooding in the area I'm going to. So I'm fine. So I'm recording this today because in the midst of it, even this morning, like thinking maybe I should, hearing my dad's voice, I'm thinking maybe I should adjust my plans and just go to New Orleans. I'm not far from New Orleans. I could be down there in a day. But in prayer, I'm like, no, Rachel, all of this is just fear. God has given you an opportunity to do something you wanted to do. And it's Him. What better arrangement could you have for travel than His approval? So why would I choose fear over God's approval? I'm going to focus on God's approval. The plan was Joshua Tree. This plan was California. The car is in amazing shape. No sounds. It drives the same as my 2020 car. The same. It's in amazing shape. So, and my confidence again is not in the condition of the car, but my confidence is in the God who would get me a car in such great condition. I'm choosing to trust God, so I'm gonna go for it. I got like a day of driving. I might cut it, I might split it, I might not. I slept good. I had a dream. I did. I should have wrote it down. It had something to do with students trying to get part-time jobs. Living in Detroit, like trying to get part-time jobs where I work. It was interesting. But I'm rejecting the fear. I'm going to keep rejecting the fear. Keep rejecting the fears. A lot of other details that happened in my little drive to St. Louis that I just can't fit into this video. And we coming up on 20 minutes. But if you watch this, be encouraged to follow after the approvals of God. Reject fear and choose to lean into what He's approving and arranging. I trust that there will be more breaking points, breakthroughs. There will be more inner growth. There will be more opportunity for me to enjoy, celebrate what God has done for me as I go on this trip. And I encourage you to enjoy the same breaking points. And when I say breaking point, I mean where the fear or the issue or the stronghold breaks. Not you breaking, but the thing that's trying to hinder you breaks. That you will have breakthroughs in those things as you lean into the approvals and the invitations of God and reject the invitation of fear. And if you watch this and you don't know God and you don't know that type of interaction, it's on the table. The invitation is there. God is knocking. Jesus is calling. Receive Him and you can experience the same journey, except the one uniquely designed for you and your purpose, to have those breakthroughs with God, to see those things break off of you. All right, stay blessed.